Hi, everybody. So if you're here, it means you're curious about Texas CSB, or you're just wondering what exactly is this program. And that's exactly why we're here as well. We're here to answer your most commonly asked questions about Texas CSB. Why don't we go around first and introduce ourselves? These are a couple of my really close friends from Texas CSB, and I'm so glad they agreed to do this.
Hi, I'm Julia Hathaway. So I'm first year in CSB, or I guess we're sophomores now. That's kind of crazy. From Austin, super excited to be talking to y'all.
Yeah, and hi everyone, my name's Kevin. I am also a sophomore, and I am from Austin as well. And just super excited to answer any questions that y'all may have. So
Yeah, as you guys know, I'm Joyce. I'm from Plano, Texas, and we're all in the first cohort of CSB class of 23. Cool. So we've narrowed down 5 questions today that are most commonly asked to us whenever we're at recruiting events for CSB. So we'll just go ahead and dive right in. So the first question, I guess, is what sorts of classes do you take? Do you take the same classes as Turing and BHP? Since Turing is the CS honors program and BHP is his business honors program, and CSB is kind of that baby child. So we really want to define the lines between the two.
Yeah, so for our classes, we actually take classes separate from Turing. So we'll take all the same courses. We're getting all the same material, but we won't be mixed in with the Turing students. And CSB is actually separate from the Turing program. So we're not actually affiliated with them. And then for BHP, we're completely mixed in with BHP. We are counted as BHP students. So we get all those resources and we're in the same classes as the BHP cohort as well.
yeah, and just to add on to what Julia said, we have the same level of rigor, even though we're separate from Turing. We have the same level of difficulty in our classes. Our projects may vary, but in terms of the level of difficulty, what's expected of us, and also the pacing of the class. It is an honors computer science curriculum, and we are expected very highly to achieve a certain level of excellence, and that's why we're continuing to challenge ourselves, and also it's very, very exciting to face new problems that we have in the computer science curriculum. In terms of business, we, like Julia said, we have a great community of business honors students that we mix in with. We do assignments with them, establish a really tight bond with the students that we interact with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, really well said, both of you. I guess like the last thing I would add on is just that the main difference between Turing's and CSB is one, that CSB is under the CBHP program, and 2, that Turing's end up having to write a thesis and doing a lot more research. CSB students do have the opportunity to do research if they want to, but it's not required to end up having those 2 degrees. Cool. So next question we have is, what opportunities do CSB students have? And this is internships, clubs, recruiting events, everything, all the good stuff.
Yeah, so CSB definitely sets you up for a ton of different things. So CSB students are invited to the Friends of Computer Science recruiting event. So that's really like close contact with a lot of recruiters for great companies. So that's really prestigious. Like the Turing students will be there, and like select students from various like people in like the CS department and such. You also get access to all of the CNS and McCombs recruitment. So that's for internships, any kind of career like development you need. We actually have a BHP career development class. That's one of the first ones you'll take with Greta. And then, yeah, so tons of opportunities there. Orgs, you can join any org you want. Orgs are really just whatever you want to get into. You can find those communities. There's over 1,000 UT orgs. I think I'm part of like 7, but so it's
Flex.
So whatever you want to be a part of, you can get into. You can find that however you want, like through friends, just looking things up. Usually a ton of tabling, not now, but I think there's virtual org fairs this year. We'll see how it goes from there. Lots of things.
Yeah, and to just add on to that. So in addition to the recruiting events that Julia mentioned, where you get to go to both CS events and business events, we're also creating a new org known as Texas CSBA, which is dedicated just for Texas CSB students. All Texas CSB students are automatically admitted into this new org, where we are working hard to get sponsorships and corporate recruitment from these tech companies and business companies that are really looking for that skill set that you share of both business and computer science. These categories range from quantitative finance to technical consulting to technical product management, all these areas where they're really looking for a special skill set that you share, which our Texas CSB students exhibit. And that org is still in the makings, and we're working hard to expand and obviously get a lot of resources to share with our CSB members.
Kevin's also
Definitely.
president of that org.
Yes.
So we've got some officers for that here.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, so I'm the president of Texas CSBA, and Joyce is the VP of operations, and Julia is one of our first members, and we're super excited to expand the org as more members join.
Yes, definitely. And there's tons of companies out there that are interested in such a great talent field that we provide. And also just wanted to add on, if you're worried at all about like preparing for these recruitment opportunities, don't worry, we've got you. There's something called CS Pod, and that's when you have an upperclassman who will guide you through the process of freshman year in first semester. And they'll teach you the ropes and show you how to go through recruitment. There's also great resources on the business side as well. So no worries at all. Awesome. Next question. This one's a very common question. I feel like a lot of people are nervous about, especially because it's CS plus business. What level of coding experience or how much CS background do I need to have when I'm entering the program?
Yeah, so the first class we have is data structures, which is Java based. So all of our projects are in Java, and then in class we'll go through and learn more data structures and other like parts. It's really just learning how to code as well. But so I came into CSB and I'd taken the APCS class, so like intro and then APCS. So I had, I'd say like a pretty good handle on Java. I knew a lot of it, so that kind of helped ease into the projects. I know some of the people that were in the program didn't have as much of that background, but you kind of just learn it and catch up. But knowing Java or learning it like on your own, like summer before, is a great way to start. So that's about what I did.
I definitely agree with what Julia said. It's definitely great to have a good fundamental knowledge of Java coming in, but that's definitely not a requirement. Personally, for myself in high school, I really didn't have too much of a CS background. I was more business oriented. And so I really only took one class in CS in high school. That was computer science principles, not even computer science A. So I had no Java experience in high school. As a result, I knew that I kind of wanted to get obviously a good fundamental background. So in the summer, I studied up and came in feeling decently okay about the course, and it will definitely teach you as you're going. So it's not like you need to have everything down under the ropes. You'll definitely learn as you go, but it's good to have a good rough understanding of the basics. And so I'd recommend to any incoming CSBers, or if you're interested in applying, to kind of study that up a little bit and at least just have some fundamentals down. That's going to help you and go a long way.
Definitely. And I guess since we're all sharing our backgrounds, to just share my background, I guess I'm in between Julie and Kevin. I learned APCS in junior year, and then I just totally ditched computer science my senior year until I got into the program, and I was like, uh-oh, got to catch up on my Java or whatever skills. So walking to the program, I like had faded knowledge of Java and all the basic computer algorithmic thinking stuff. But I still did fine. I think something you learn definitely through this program, especially through the curriculum, is that you need to learn on the fly. You need to learn how to just learn on your own as well. Googling, looking at Stack Overflow, learning from your peers is a huge thing that we all, I think, learned through our first year together. But yeah, there's definitely resources out there, and you will feel imposter syndrome kind of naturally, just given the culture of the field and the major, but it's going to be fine, and you'll learn to build a family and a group of friends from it as well. Cool. Next question. This one's a cool one for people who are interested in the program and have not yet gotten in or are looking to apply. What advice would you give to someone who wants to apply to this program?
So I don't know, if I was talking to someone who's maybe interested in applying to CSB, really my like experience with it was I did a lot of CS in high school. I did principles, AP, and then an independent study my senior year, which was a lot of fun. But I also knew that I didn't want to take the path just to be a software engineer. I wanted to kind of merge that, maybe do entrepreneurship, which is what I was initially kind of interested in. But I wanted that business side as well, like that more like human, like people aspect. So I should have just kind of stumbled across the article that was like, oh, Texas CSB is like a new program. And I was like, that sounds really cool. And I love UT. So I applied. Obviously I'm here, but it was really just, it's interesting because like CSB is such a unique like marriage of like the two programs. So you can go into a lot of different fields from here. There are people that just like want to go software engineering track. honestly, there's probably going to be people in the program that graduate and just go full business. A lot of people are super interested in entrepreneurship, product management, a bunch of different things you can do. I've kind of become interested in consulting, so like tech consulting and such. But you can pretty much go anywhere from here. And so I guess advice I'd have for people that are interested is really just get into things that you want to in high school. But if you're interested in computer science and business, you think that's like a good thing, then like find those tracks. If you have extracurriculars like clubs at your school, I know like Kevin's in DECA, and I did a couple like coding competitions in high school. Find those, get that experience, and kind of make sure you're like really exposed and you're like, oh, like I really love these, and I want to see what I can do with it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And just to add on, I feel like for me, Texas CSB was a kind of popped in last minute. Like I was a senior, and Texas CSB came across my radar, like Julia, and I really wasn't planning on doing a double major until I came across the article. I was like, I was gonna go in and applied business to all my other schools, and so when I saw this opportunity, you know, I wanted to take a shot at it, and it was it played out very well. And so to someone who knows about CSB now and has time to prepare for it, has time, they know they want to do it as a junior or a sophomore, definitely recommend, you know, if this is something you think you want to do, really don't force yourself to, you know, participate in events in high school just to fit this mold or just to fit this kind of category that this is what they're looking for, so I'm going to do everything that matches that. I would say just literally put that aside. Think about, you know, do you love tech? Do you love talking to people? Do you love business? And once you understand that that's something truly you like to do, then you can make the commitments to go and say, how can I show that? How can I show that I have these passions? This will naturally take place and naturally, you know, exhibit in the terms of, oh, I took initiative to build a website. I took initiative to be in this club and it took a leadership role. And those things come naturally if you find out that this is something truly that you will want to pursue. So I'd highly recommend, don't force yourself to join these orgs, do these things because this is what people have done, but rather ask yourself, what is what you want to do? Like Julia said, and kind of follow that passion. And naturally, you'll find admissions will work out fine for you just because they see that passion, they see that honesty and genuine in yourself, and that's how you want to kind of grow and develop is my biggest advice.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. Wise words and lots of great stories from both of you. I guess like my 2 cents would be, as someone who like did not originally ever think she'd be going into tech and has now gone through a year and now I'm in love with it. I on the other side, I just see how much potential tech has to change the world and do so many different things. So like if you're interested in art, there's a place for you. You can do UI, UX design. If you're interested in more logical thinking, there's the back end portion of any sort of development, right? And there's also like different sectors connected to tech indirectly, and that's everything that CSB does for you, right? It provides us 2 modes for you to combine these 2 amazing skills and make something out of it. So I think in any context, one, probably just build up those basic skills such as having some sort of interest in business and technology, showing that, but not just like taking classes and like participating in competitions, but make something out of those skills you have, right? Like Kevin said, show it, right? Okay, okay, I have some coding skills and I'm interested in entrepreneurship. Can I code a small product that could help the people around me? And maybe I'm interested in music, then code something related to music, right? Show your passions using those tools. Don't see those much as restrictions rather than things that can elevate you and help you more. Yeah, and here we have our final question, which is for after you get into CSB, something a lot of incoming students will ask us as CSB residents is, should I live in the honors quad? Oh, and just to give some context, the honors quad, does someone want to tell us what the honors quad is?
Sure. So the honors quad is just one of the dormitories, or 3 of the dormitories that are on campus. So UT dorms are, okay, Carruthers, Andrews, and Blanton are the 3 dorms that are part of the honors quad. And then the 4th is Littlefield, and that's all girls. And then the other dormitories are Jester, East and West, and San Jack.
You got it. I don't know them all.
Durham. I think that's the last one.
Yeah.
A bunch of other ones. So I lived in Andrews, and I really, really loved it. So the honors quad, the 3 that I talked about, ABC, they're all connected. And they have like a little courtyard in the middle. It's kind of north campus, but not too far from everywhere you'll be going. Probably the farthest is the McCombs building, but not too bad of a walk. So I really loved it because of the community though. So I had a really great roommate. She was in BHP, and we met, I don't remember how we met. We met before, before school started, and we're like, hey, like, gonna be roommates? And we're like, sure. So had a great roommate, and then everyone is just like there. So Honors Quad, there's a lot of community like areas, like study rooms, lobbies, just there's like a game room type area. And it was just really great because I remember so many like all-nighters or late nights like studying, working on projects, and it's really nice to have people who are like doing the same things, or people who are also working and maybe stressed out, and you're all kind of in the same boat. And it was definitely like a really productive but fun like environment, and met a bunch of really great people, lots of adventures. But I really recommend it. Just because it also doesn't have as much of like a dorm-y feel to it. It's kind of more homey, older, but I really enjoyed my stay there, and would definitely recommend it to anyone who's looking at on-campus housing.
I would say the same. Highly recommend the Honors Quad. The only downside about the Honors Quad, which people may say, is that it's a little further from everything else. So your classes wise, everything would probably be, you're looking at roughly, depending on how fast you walk, 5 to 10 minutes. If you're in Jester or one of those other dorms that Julia mentioned, you could be closer to your classes, like within a couple minutes. However, I feel like that is definitely worth it in terms of the experience you're getting in the quad. You have, like Julia mentioned, a really tight-knit community. Obviously, it's all honor students, so you have a lot of commonalities to share with, like, business honors, right? You're working with those kids. Maybe you have late night study sessions. It's just a lot more convenient to do your work that you have within the honor. There's a bunch of cool social things that you can do in the game room. There's late night study sessions in the lobby. And so you've got a lot of cool stuff going on, and it's your really first year in the dorms. It's an amazing experience. So I would definitely capitalize on that. And if you have the chance to get a spot in the Honors Quad, definitely do it.
Yeah, definitely. I guess we're all a little biased because we all lived in the Honors Quad. So I'll share my point of view, but also share some points that I feel like my peers who didn't live in the Honors Quad brought up pretty often. But so as someone who did live in the Honors Quad, I really would recommend it because, again, like Julie and Kevin mentioned, you'll be working on projects that you're going to be working on at late night times because you'll be at school during the day. And it's really helpful to just kind of like knock on someone's door and be like, hey, help me debug my code, rather than like walk 10 minutes to a place to have someone help you. So it's really like location's really convenient in the fact that all these people in your program are together, and you get to meet fellow BHPers as well. But also to like branch off of Kevin's point of the exercise and how much walking there is, it's actually not that bad. And I feel like given how much you're sitting in a dark room coding, you kind of need the exercise. But yeah, if I were to talk about from the other side why someone wouldn't want to live in the Honors Quad, another downside I would offer that I've heard is that you just don't get to meet as many other people on campus. So if you're involved in like a frat, or if you're involved in other social events and orgs, you won't be as immersed with them because the Honors Quad is a little bit far away from compared to the rest of the places. And there's also other options such as like private dormitories on campus or off campus in West Campus as well. So it's really personal preference, but if you want to really focus on education and having that social community aspect of that honors experience, I would definitely recommend the Honors Quad. Yeah, well, that was our last question. Before we ended the call, or, just this conversation, just wanted to first like really thank Kevin and Julia for taking their time today and just like sit and chat and, share their immense amount of knowledge and, personality with us. But before we end it also, do you guys have any last words to say? General reflections after your first year?
Sure. So I've really enjoyed CSB so far, definitely learned a ton. Struggled through a bit, but it's like when you're going through the classes, some of the projects are super tough, and sometimes you'll think like, why am I putting myself through this? But it's so worth it. Like, you learn so much in the process of that. Like, I'm looking back at my first year and seeing like where I started to where I am now changed like so much. It's also just been a great community. So this upcoming semester, I'll be rooming with the two other girls in the program. So who are like my best friends now, and that's been really great. The guys are pretty cool too.
Kind of cool.
But so it's definitely a great like academic opportunity, good community, and it just gives you so many resources and opportunities within UT and Austin. Yeah, so it's a lot of work. You have to put in the effort and put in the time, but I think it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'd just like to add on to that. It's like, what do you want? What are you looking for in your 4 years at a college? You know, do you want to challenge yourself, and do you want to have room for growth, or are you looking for something more relaxed, right? In terms of CSB, it's definitely a program where you're going to have to work hard, and no one's going to say you're going to come in and it's just going to be a breeze. We definitely, every single one of us, I feel like we've all challenged ourselves, and that has been really rewarding, because the challenge, when you see it pay off, and it will pay off, I promise you, is that you will see that, wow, you've learned so much, you've grown so much, and the program has taught you so much. So I really am grateful for the program. Texas CSB was put together in a very well constructed way by managing what classes you take and when do you take them and which classes go together well. The thing I'd like to add is part of this new organization, Texas CSBA, actually, what we're doing is we're providing peer mentorship. So in addition to your pod mentor that Joyce mentioned, we also have a big little program that we're setting up, which is going to pair every single incoming freshman with an upperclassman. And in that way, we'll have really direct one-on-ones where you can, you know, get to know how the experience has been going for upperclassmen and get career advice, get class advice, and even more, just from a very personal connection with the upper CSB. Because we have such a tight-knit cohort, we're able to do that, and we're able to also hopefully allow freshmen to ease into college a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. Very well said. Yeah, and just to mention and add on to that, it's just that we also have a great dedicated staff. I feel like the fact that we have 2 advisors on both sides of the department, they're there to listen to us. They're there to really build off of our complaints, our worries, our concerns, and make this program better. So there's no other direction this program is going but up. We're your guinea pigs, and we already love it. So I can guarantee you that every single year coming after that, it's only going to be more and more impressive. So yeah, with that, we'll conclude this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. All right, I'll stop the recording now.
Bye.
Bye.